Hi everyone, I'm Meredith and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I'm so excited that you found me, and if you're returning, I'm so grateful you've decided to come back and watch more. I love all things luxury. I love luxury shoes, I love luxury handbags, luxury lifestyle and vlogging, and if they're things that appeal to you, I hope you'll hit that subscribe button down below and join me here. Today I wanted to do a video around my unpopular luxury opinions and decisions in some cases. So there's lots of times in my life when I will say I did something or I didn't buy something, or this is my thought, and I will be met with a, oh my goodness, how could you? But I wanted to talk about them today because I always find it funny that people are so caught up in other people's decisions. Like, it doesn't affect you, it really shouldn't worry you, but some people feel very strongly about some things. So allow me to give you some of the opinions and decisions that I've made in the luxury world, which usually make people go, oh my goodness. So the first one, which distresses many people, is we were given the opportunity to order the Louis Vuitton Nike collaboration sneakers with Virgil. My husband was given the opportunity. Our sales associates contacted us and said, our store will be allocated sneakers. Would you like to order yours because you own a lot of sneakers? My husband owns a lot of sneakers. And we looked at them and went, no, we're not interested. My husband wears his sneakers, like really wears his sneakers, and I am a collector, so from a collector standpoint I could most certainly see the collectability of those sneakers, but I didn't see the value in them. So things will mean more to people if they speak to them and they bring them joy, or they can see the value in them. And in this case, those sneakers did none of those things. We didn't feel that they were different enough from Louis Vuitton's standard sneakers to warrant the amount of money that they were asking for them. And we knew that if we bought them, that my husband would wear them, which would automatically render them not worth the amount of money that you paid for them. If we had looked at them and thought, yes, they're really different, we're going to buy them and keep them as collector's pieces, that would have been a completely different story. But they weren't unique enough for us to look at them as collector's pieces, and therefore they were going to be worn, which means that they were no longer worth the amount of money that they were asking for them. Like, they were basically double the price of standard Louis Vuitton sneakers. So when people hear that we were offered the opportunity to get those sneakers, and we knocked them back, they get very distressed by that. How could you have said no? We didn't want them. Like, they weren't things that we thought were worth it, so we didn't buy them. And I know people hopped online and sat online trying desperately to get those sneakers, and I hope that you did get them if you really wanted them. And I actually said to my sales associates at the time, because they were also very distressed that we weren't going to do it, I said, if we take these shoes that we're not that fussed about, it's taking the opportunity from somebody else who might really want these shoes. So by us being bumped off that list that they had going, somebody else at the bottom of that list moved up into a position where they could be offered those shoes, and it might have absolutely meant the world to them to have those shoes. And I hope it did. I hope they didn't just buy them and resell them. I hope they genuinely really wanted those shoes, because that's important. So us saying no to something that we're a bit like, about might have meant that somebody else got the piece that they desperately wanted. So I think that's more important than just buying them for the sake of buying them just because they were so collectible. So that's my first unpopular luxury decision in this case. My second one would be, I don't like Himalayan finish. And people get very upset about that. I will often get comments on my Hermes unboxings, or when I talk about my Birkins, about people going, oh, you'll get offered a Birkin Himalayan one day, or you'll get a Kelly Himalayan one day. I don't want it. And I say that to my sales associate. I've said it to him several times. I have told him that I have absolutely no interest in the Himalayan finish. I don't like it. It doesn't speak to me. It's brown and cream. Where is that going to fit in my collection? As somebody who loves color, it makes absolutely no sense that I want that finish in any handbag from any house, because the Himalayan finish, yes, that finish is the Himalayan term is specific to Hermes, but Louis Vuitton do the same finish, Dior do the same finish. I don't want it from anyone. Fendi do the same finish. I don't like the colors. I don't do brown and beige. Why would I want a Himalayan anything? But people get very upset because it has been drilled into the luxury community, and those of us who purchase luxury handbags, that is the pinnacle of what everybody should want. I don't want it. I'm not interested in it. It's not my thing. I'm not going to spend a ridiculous amount of money on it just because I should want it. So no thanks, I'll pass. So even if it was offered to me at Hermes tomorrow, my response would be no. And people would just fall all over themselves for that offer, and I understand that. I really do. And I hope if you desperately want that finish that you get offered that finish, but it's not for me. I would much rather have an ostrich Birkin in a really bright color, a picnic Kelly. That for me is my pinnacle, a picnic Kelly. But yeah, a Himalayan Birkin or a Himalayan Kelly, a Himalayan anything is not something that I want. So that's my second unpopular luxury opinion. My third is that I don't like the Hermes Constance bag. I understand it's a quota bag. I really do. And I understand that lots of people want quota bags. They want the full set. They want the Birkin, the Kelly, and the Constance. I don't want a Constance. I don't think that it suits my lifestyle. I don't think it suits my aesthetic. I don't think it will be practical for me. I have a Constance in a few different variations. I have the Constance buckle in a few different variations, and it's cumbersome and it gets scratched, which generally doesn't worry me. I don't care about scratches, we're coming to that. But it's not an easy to use clasp, and on a handbag with so much structure, I believe it's going to be a pain. So I have no interest in that handbag whatsoever. And people are very certain about the fact that you should try and have one of each. I don't care. I don't want the Constance. I have a Kelly up here. I have a mini Kelly. I've got my two Birkins. I have other things on my wish list. At no point anywhere on my wish list do I have a Constance. And I have actually been offered a Constance at my Sydney store, and I knocked it back. I know. I could hear the gasps from here. She was offered a Constance and she said no. Nah, didn't want it. It's not my handbag. I don't care. I don't want it. I'm not going to buy things just because that everyone else wants them. You should always spend large sums of money on what you desperately want, and a Constance is not one of them. So that is my third unpopular luxury opinion. My fourth is a decision and an opinion. I believe that you should wear your bags, get them wet, and allow them to get scratched. I know. People everywhere are curled up in a ball under a blanket at the moment, rocking back and forth. Oh my goodness, oh my goodness. Imagine using the bags and getting them scratched and wet. Oh my goodness. I know. But that's what I believe. I recently posted on my Instagram account, and I will link the handle for you down below, or just put it up for you so you can come follow me over on Instagram, a picture of my Pochette Matisse in the monogram with all the vachetta soaking wet. I was standing in the rain. I was opening the gate to my property so we could get out, and it got saturated, and people were panicked for me. Oh my goodness, the water spots. What's going to happen to the bag? You should do this. You should do that. People trying to help me. And I genuinely appreciate that. For a lot of people, that was really triggering and they wanted to try and help me. And I appreciate that. I really do. I didn't care. Like, my bags get used. The water spots do not worry me. And I then posted a picture a couple of hours later of the same bag when it was dry, and the shetter on that is stunning. It has patinaed beautifully to the point where there is now so much natural oil in the leather that yes, it was wet, and yes, it had water spots at the time it got wet, but those water spots dry out and they're no longer spots. It's just a beautiful honey patina, because that's what leather is supposed to do. It's supposed to age, and it looks beautiful when it ages. And when you let it age in the sunlight and in the rain, and you get past the bit where you can just see this few water spots and they just end up completely covered in water spots, they're just beautiful, beautiful bags. It's what they're made to do. So let them get wet, use them, allow them out in the sunshine, and let the hardware get scratched. It tells your story. These bags are supposed to tell your story. If they get scratches on the hardware, where you got those scratches will stay with you. In fairness, a lot of my bags, like my Pochette Matisse, have so many scratches on them now, I couldn't tell you where they all came from. But they are loved and worn and worth the money when you do that. So that is my fourth unpopular luxury opinion. I know it is triggering for a lot of people, and you're sitting out there going, no, don't put the bags out in the rain. I don't do it on purpose. I just use them. If they get wet, they get wet. It is what it is. So yeah, I'm sorry. My fifth unpopular luxury opinion is that travel is always a better investment than bags. Yes, people collect bags or buy bags with the specific purpose that they will hold their value and they can sell them at a later date should they want to, and recoup their money from that. Sure, it's not a solid investment strategy, but it is an investment strategy nonetheless for some people. For me, travel will always be something that is more worthwhile for me to spend my money on than bags. And I have a lot of bags, but I believe travel is more important. I believe that the memories you make and the experiences you have when you travel are more worth the money than an actual handbag. So for the cost of many of my handbags, case in point, I could have taken a very, very nice overseas holiday for the cost of this bag. I could have taken my entire family on a very, very nice holiday overseas for the cost of that bag. At the time I got my bag, it was the middle of COVID. I couldn't leave the country. But nonetheless, easily, any of these bags are the equivalent of an overseas holiday. I am in a lucky position. Well, I have worked hard to be in a position where I don't have to make the call between a luxury handbag or an overseas holiday. I can do both, and I have. I went to New York last year. I am looking at traveling to Greece this year, and that trip is quickly becoming a bigger trip than originally planned. I am now inviting basically everyone I know, hey, come to Greece, and I have a feeling that a few of them might actually come, so stay tuned for that. But I believe that the memories that I have from traveling and the amazing experiences I had and the things that I have seen, they're the things that I will remember until the day I die, not the things. The handbags are important to me. They are my collection and I love them. But ultimately on my deathbed, I will not be surrounded by my handbags. I will hopefully be surrounded by family who love me and have amazing memories and have led a life that gave me amazing experiences. And I believe that that is always more important than the actual things you have. So if you only have finite resources available to you, a finite amount of money, as much as you might desperately want a luxury handbag, is it more or less important to you than the amazing experience that you might have traveling the world or going to see something you've always dreamed of? The travel is worth more than the luxury handbag in the long run. The memories, the experience is worth more than the thing. That's my unpopular luxury opinion. And my last one is that luxury brand jewelry is not worth it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I know there are so many people right now who are wearing their Cartier pieces or their Van Cleef Arpels pieces going, what are you talking about? She's wrong. They're throwing things at their screens. I know. And I sit here saying that as somebody who has Tiffany earrings in, as somebody who owns Louis Vuitton high-end jewelry, as somebody who has pieces from Cartier. I know, I understand this, but I don't believe it's worth it. I believe that my pieces that I have, that my jeweler made me, my jeweler in his tiny little workshop in his tiny little town that he has won awards for, is worth far more than my high-end jewelry. And I am quickly moving away from high-end brand name jewelry. My sales associate at Louis Vuitton, one of them, his area of expertise is the fine jewelry collection. And he is distressed by this, but he agrees with me and understands what I'm saying. He brings me pictures of the Louis Vuitton diamond collection that is coming out, and I look at them and I say they are beautiful, but they are not worth the money. And he knows that, and he agrees with me on a personal level, but he can't say that. And it's true. For the amount of money I can buy a diamond ring from Louis Vuitton for, I can go to my jeweler and have him custom make me a piece for a third of the cost, and it will be a high-end, high-grade diamond and beautiful gold, and it will be a one of a kind. It is worth far more to me to have pieces made specifically for me that I love, and that somebody I know personally has made for me, than to walk into Cartier and buy a piece which is, yes, very beautiful and very well made, but has a ridiculous markup on it because it has Cartier attached to it. It's just not worth it anymore. I'm not doing it anymore. You will not see high-end fine jewelry unboxings on my channel, I'm going to say, ever going forward. And I know I'll probably eat those words at some point because something will come out and I'll be like, I really want that one piece from Tiffany or whatever, but they will be very, very rare. I have ideas in my head of jewelry pieces that I would like in 2023. They're all going to be made by my jeweler. None of them come from any of the high-end luxury fashion houses. So yes, and even having said that, I now have all my rings on because I got married, and all my pieces are one of a kind. Now, they're not very different. So my engagement ring in the middle was my grandmother's ring. It was her ring, and I had it redesigned slightly. It was a very 1970s ring, and it sat quite high. I sat the whole thing down. I made it square. I added a few diamonds to it and made it a bit more modern, but it is my grandmother's original ring, and it is made with her gold as well. So the original gold that was in her ring is now in my ring. And then I added my wedding ring and my eternity ring to either side of that, and my jeweler has done all of that for me. So yeah, they're all my rings now. And I love them. I love that they're mine. I love that they're different. I love that they were made for me. Now, my wedding ring and eternity ring are just plain bands with diamonds in them. They're nothing special, but still they were made for me by my jeweler, and they fit perfectly with my engagement ring, which he also set for me. So yeah, that's my sixth and final unpopular luxury opinion. I really hope I haven't offended too many people with this, but I think it's important to talk about. I think it's interesting to see what people think, and that we all have opinions, and sometimes you really need to have those opinions rather than just blindly follow the trends. I'm finding more and more that the trends never work out for me, that I end up selling those pieces or I don't wear them. And yeah, I'm trying desperately to move away from the trend and more to what is important to Meredith, what suits Meredith's lifestyle, and why is Meredith talking about herself in the third person? Anyway, but what do I love, and just going with that, because we spend ridiculous amounts of money on this stuff. We should love it all at the end of the day. It should be what we chose. I would love to hear other YouTubers' unpopular thoughts luxury thoughts and opinions and decisions. So I'm going to throw this out there and see if anyone wants to join in. We might hear from Dale from Dale's Addiction, because she's a good friend and I think she will do this tag for me. So Dale, what are your unpopular luxury opinions and decisions that you have made? I would love to hear from Autumn Beckman on this. She's got a fabulous channel here on YouTube, and I always love watching Autumn because she is so thoughtful and so considered in everything that she does. So I think she will do this very, very well. So Autumn, what are your unpopular luxury thoughts, decisions, and opinions? The other person I would love to hear from is Lisa from Luxury and Life in the Middle. She has a fantastic YouTube channel here. I love watching her videos. She does fantastic vlogs. She's just moved to New York City. I am so jealous of her. But I love watching her, and she does really considered videos as well. So Lisa, what are your unpopular luxury decisions and opinions? I hope each of those people will do this, and I open it up to any YouTuber. Tell us, what are your unpopular luxury opinions and decisions? Let's open up the conversation so that we make it more normalized, that we don't all just have to follow the trends blindly. If you have liked today's video, please give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button down below. It means a lot to a content creator when you hit that subscribe button. I also invite you to hit the little bell notification so you know when I've uploaded videos, which is usually 3 times a week. I will throw up my Instagram handle for you as well in case you'd love to come follow me over on Instagram. I put lots up in real time, lots around my collection, how I'm styling outfits. So please come follow me over on Instagram. I hope wherever you are in the world today, you are having a fabulous day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.